What's going on, Bully fam? What's going on, bro? What you want to talk about today?
The same question you get asked a lot is dosages, the Plumb's book. How do you use it? I don't understand. What does something something megs per kg PO mean? Today we're gonna try to break it down for everybody so we can get everybody on the same sheet of music.
That's huge because if you even if you had all the medications in the world for your dogs, if you don't know how to do dosages, it's gonna do you no good. So that's actually super important. Let's get into it.
All right, first of all, like you said, guys, we are not veterinarians. I am just an avid reader
Yeah.
of the Plumb's book. That's it. I don't listen. I ain't never said I was a veterinarian. I ain't a veterinarian. Don't call me instead of your veterinarian. Call you veterinarian. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All
100%.
right. So some of the words, some of the acronyms is what they call them that you've seen in dogs is PO, IV, SQ, IM, BID, Q24, stuff like that. So we'll try to break them all down for you so you understand. PO means by mouth. It's in Latin. I don't know, something. I don't know what it says in Latin, but it's by mouth. IV is intravenously. SQ is sub Q, under the skin, not in the muscle. IM is in the muscle, intramuscular, your shoulders and your thigh muscle. Um, what is it? Q24 means once a day. BID means twice a day. TID means 3 times a day, and QID means 4 times a day. So now that you understand those terminologies,
The terms.
those are the terms that you're going to need to know. Again, PO means mouth. The rest are pretty easy. IV means in the vein. SQ, I think a lot of people know what sub Q is, and IM is in the muscle. So we have a medicine called acepromazine.
So
We're just
so let's pretend like I needed to use ace promazine for something, right? Let's pretend like I don't know the dosage, right? And how I would go about getting the dosage to properly get the effect that I want out of the drug or whatever, right? So what would I do?
So you need to know the dose. First thing you need to know is your dog's weight, and you need to know how strong the medicine is. So each medicine has a different strength. Every medicine comes in different forms for most part. Doxycycline comes in 50s and 100 tabs, and they have flex tabs that are 300. You got enrofloxacin that comes in pill form, and there's like 5 different pills. I don't know. The biggest is 136. I don't have little dogs, so I think the smallest is 62s. Cephalexin comes in 250s and 500s. Um, what else? Oh, and rofloxacin also comes in injectable. You have 2%, 5%, and 10%. I know people are going to say, no, it's 2.2. Yeah, you're right. 2%, 5%, 10%.
And that's huge.
And knowing how strong your medicine is
Yeah.
tell you how much to give.
And that's huge because, for example, if I'm getting like, an enrofloxacin, like I have these here, right? I'm using an enrofloxacin that's meant to be injectable, and I turn around and I'm giving it to the dog like orally or something. Like you can do more harm than good theoretically if you're giving the wrong medication through the wrong administrating of it, correct?
That's correct.
So
I mean, and if you give, there's some medicines that have toxicity levels to it.
yeah.
You can get sick by consuming too much of it, Augmentin, Clavamox, amoxiclav, whatever you want to call it. It comes in pill, it comes in liquid. So those are the things, like if your dog is only a 40-pound dog, it's not going to take an 875 milligram pill.
Yeah.
That's a 250. Like there's a big difference. So you got to know how strong your pills are or how strong your medicine is as well. It's not just knowing how to read it. You got to know how to read your labeling on your bottle as well.
Of course. So
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 ACE, we have to take a dog that's in the US, we use pounds. Everything in here is in what they consider metric, I think, right? Kilograms is
Something
a
like
metric.
that. Yeah, but kilograms. Yeah, that's
So you can either weigh your dog in kilograms, or you can take your dog's weight and turn it into kilograms by dividing it by 2.2. That's it.
Yep.
Take a 100-pound dog and we divide it by 2.2. So clear 100
Yeah, because for every pound,
divided by 2.2, your dog only weighs 45 kilos. So when you're reading the book, everything states mig per kg. That's what it says. Everything is mig per kg. So what you do is ace promazine says,
and not to cut you off, Chris, I just wanted to throw in the index thing I had mentioned earlier that like because for example, we know the drug is ace promazine, but what if you don't know like the drug itself? Let's just say this was a bottle of Baytril, for example, right? Baytril is the brand. So
yeah,
you know if you go into the book and you're sliding through the pages and you're trying to find the drug Baytril,
you're
you're
not
not
going to find it.
going to find it. Exactly. So
You're not
what
going to find Clavamox. You're not going to find Baytril. You're not going to find astringent paste. You're not going to find any of them.
Nemax and all that
You're
stuff.
not going to find
So
any of that stuff.
what you need to do is, but if you go to the index, right, at the end of the book, typically, it's going to show all the different names. So you might find in the index Baytril. It'll show what pages Baytril pops up. You go to that page, or you could do a quick, easy Google search, or you can take the drug, right? Look at the drug, and this is a great example. Like let's use something like this, and the drug itself may be this is in Roxal, right? But if I go to the side and look at the active ingredient is enrofloxacin. And that's what the drug handbook, the Plumb's book, is showing. All the active ingredients, the compounds. It's not going based off of the name brand of the drug. So you need to find out what the active ingredient is, and then that's when you search inside the book. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but we know that our example is ace promazine. We go to that page, ace promazine, whether we found it in index or whatever. And I'm sorry,
Ace promazine. So it says here that the dosage is for a slight sedative, tranquilization, or resistant. You can do 0.01 to 0.02 mg per kg. You can give it IV slowly, intramuscular, sub-Q once. Total dose should not exceed more than 3 mgs. So it's easy. So now we know that the dog he weighs, we just say an 80-pound dog, because I'm doing my own dog. This is, I know I should get 0.4 when we're all done. This is what I give my dogs when I try to do that. Divided by 2.2 equals this times 0.01, 3.6. And if I'm not mistaken, that the dosage, the strength on the bottle is 1 ml equals 100. So I need half of a cc or 0.4 of a cc. Bada bing, we did it, guys. It's that easy. So you just have to read the book. Now that you know how to take your dog's weight from a pound to kilogram, this will make so much more sense. It is weight times dosage divided by your strength, whatever strength you have. It's that easy. So if you don't, you got to turn your pounds into kilograms, or you can just weigh the dog in kilograms. Scales do weigh in kilograms. So you can weigh in kilograms if it makes it easier for you.
And can't you also, because I feel like I've done this before as well, can't you? I personally find myself that I've just been weighing now that I got the nice big scale. I think you have one too. Big, silver scale that like vets usually have. You can get on Amazon. Now that I have one of those, I just find myself weighing the dogs in kilogram regardless.
Makes it so much easier.
It makes it so much easier, and especially if you aren't guessing, you're actually weighing the dog. Or what I used to do is grab a human scale, stand
on it. Yeah,
stand
there's a lot of medicine that has some good variance, but this is not one of them. Obviously, our variance is 0.01 to 0.02. That's not a lot of variance.
Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. So yeah, so like kind of what exactly you're saying is some drugs they give you a large room, a large amount of wiggle room, meaning you can give over.
5 to 20 mgs per kg.
Yeah,
And sometimes that depends on if you're going to do it in conjunction with another medicine. We'll just say a UTI, enrofloxacin. They would normally prescribe you Clavamox for a UTI first, right? You've
yeah,
been to that 1,000 times. I got a UTI. We did a Clavamox. Take it
yeah,
home. Have a nice day. Some people call it augmentin, whatever. So it doesn't work. You still peeing blood. You go back to the vet, say, hey, man, this ain't working. So they're more likely going to put you on Clavamox in conjunction with enrofloxacin. Now, you're not going to take the max of both. So they're going to tell you, all right, keep her this way. And instead of, enrofloxacin, I want to tell you it's like fucking 5 mgs to 20 mgs per kg, I think it is. So they're going to have you on the lower end just
yeah,
so you don't, mess up her flora in her stomach.
yeah.
Because all them antibiotics will mess up a dog's stomach.
So exactly. So that's what I was just kind of getting at is some drugs have like a wide spectrum of safety, right? And then some drugs, like we were talking about, like aludolase, you have very little room for error. Like it goes from, like you said, drugs like Baytra, where it's a little bit more wiggle room. Then
And don't put me in the same category as Ludulus. I don't want to talk about it because that shit's you literally have that
yeah.
much wiggle room with Ludulus.
So that's just
This
something.
is not a medicine that I highly
Yeah.
recommend anybody use if they don't know what they're doing.
So you just want to be mindful of what drug you're using and what's the wiggle room that you kind of have.
And don't call me and ask me how to dose a dog. Here's what I won't do because I'm not going to guess your weight and I don't have time for your internet stats. Your internet stats can, for an example, we'll take Ludulus for an example. You tell me your dog weighs 150 pounds. That dog only weighs 120. That dog's going to shit her fucking insides up. So this isn't the time for me to guess if you're lying about your weight. I need to know the exact weights.
Prime
So
example is
the math.
I get like the XL people who they claim their dog is a lot heavier. Like say if I'm doing a collection on their stud or evaluating, the semen on their stud or whatever, and they claim the dog is heavier, then when we throw the dog on a scale, dog's 10, 20 pounds lighter than they actually thought the dog was. So yeah, sometimes, with certain drugs you don't want to mess around with because you don't have that wiggle room. But what I was gonna say was, and I've done this before, I feel like is so the one way that we could go about getting the dosage is like we said, right? We take the weight of the dog and we convert that to kilograms per the milligrams, right? And then like you said, the strength, and then that gives us kind of like
it's the weight
yeah
dosage divided by the strength.
So exactly. So where I was gonna go with it is now, can't we reverse engineer that to where now we could theoretically take the dosage and convert that to like pounds, if that makes sense? So if the dog is
confuse some people because you're confusing me. I mean, I guess you could. I mean, you can do that problem backwards.
So I'll give you an example, right? So let's just say off the top of my head, please don't quote me on this, but I think like augmentin or Clavamox, I think is like 6 milligrams per kilogram.
I know the 250 pill does 40 pounds. I know that.
Something like that. What I'm just trying to use as an example is theoretically, couldn't we convert the weight of the dog, I'm sorry, the milligrams. So if we know that six milligrams is it treats 1 kilogram, then stop looking at me crazy.
You're confusing me. I'm gonna tell you what I do. This is the cheatest.
No, wait, but hear me out. Wait,
bro, I'm telling you, you're making it much harder.
But no, because I used to do it like this. I feel like we divide that by the kilograms. So 6 point whatever, if it's 6 milligrams per kilogram, divide that by 2.2 and you multiply that by the pounds. You get what I'm saying? It should give you the same amount.
I mean, I guess I didn't ever learn it that way.
Yeah, so here.
So what I do is there's a cheat that I do. Everybody might think I'm crazy. I do every one of them by 5 pounds. So anytime I know how big the dog is, I just got to do it, multiply it by 5 pounds. Does that make sense?
I know, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, I think
every medicine I know, metro.
I'm right. So check this out, right? So if we know that, let's just say hypothetically it's 6 milligrams, and like I said, I'm going off of memory. I don't know this for fact, but I believe it's 6 milligrams per kilogram, right? Of like augmentin or clavamox or whatever. So 6 times 6 times a dog that's 100 pounds. If we convert 100 pounds to kilograms, that's 45, right?
Yeah.
Or 45 point something.
Yeah.
So that gives you 270 milligrams, right?
Okay.
So now if we take the that's 6 milligrams per kilogram and divide that by 2.2, multiply that by 2.2 times 100 pounds, we get 220. But I think I'm off on the
I'm confused, brother. So, hey, listen, I'm so confused. Listen, I just know how to do it my way, and I guess that's,
how
I just turn the kilograms and I mean the weight in the kilograms, and it just makes more sense to me.
100 pounds is how many kilograms again?
45.
Is it exactly 45?
45.4.
So yeah, 45.4, multiply that by
2.2. You can just start with 100.
wait, what? I messed up.
I think you would have to times. I think you have it backwards. I think you would have to multiply by 2, not divide. You would have to multiply the dosage by 2.
So 2.2. So like, yeah, if it's 6 milligrams per
Anyways, it's 12 milligrams. I think it is 12 or 13 mg per kg. So you're making it too hard for people to understand.
Oh God, I know I've done it like that before, and it comes out to the same thing though. Because
So, for example, augmentin, clavamox, 40 pounds, right? Divided by 2.2 times, I think the dosage is 13 mg per kg actually, equals, told you, 236. So it should have been 250 pill, a pill of 250. I told you that. Doing this shit too long.
I guess what I was just getting at is there's more than one way to skin a cat, but you got to just make sure you're doing the math.
Yeah, do the math. That's it. For
Yeah.
me, I just do the basic math, and I take the weight of the dog, I divide it by 2.2. Now I have my kilograms. So that is my weight times my dose, whatever the Plums tells me I need to dose it by. I literally just had a good friend of mine. He calls me. He says he wants to learn to do it himself. I said, all right, cool. I don't know if he wants me to tell everybody his name, so I won't. But he does the math in his computer, and he sent it to me. I don't know if it's gonna come out. No.
Okay,
there it is. He did all the math and he sent it back to me, and I said that's correct.
Got you.
It was the dog's weight. You divide it by 2.2. That's your weight. You take your weight, you times it by your dosage. Whatever the Plums tells you, however many mgs per kg, you times it by that. And then you divide it by whatever your pill size is, whatever your bottle says your strength is. That's how you get it.
Got you. No, so I got it.
He was determined.
I no, because I know I'm not crazy. So here, check this out. Check this out real quick. Check this out. So a dog that's 100 pounds, right? 100 pounds converts to 45.359 kilograms, right? 45.3, what I say, 359 kilograms, right?
No.
That's what I just got.
100 divided by 2.2 is 45.45.45.
Well, the formula is
by a little bit.
Well, it's saying the formula is 2.205 to be exact.
Oh,
that's why. So whatever. I mean, but you're talking about microscopic amounts. So anyway, so that's what it's saying right here when I searched it, right? So we multiply that times it's 6 kilograms. I'm just going off of this is any drug. Don't hold me to any name of a drug. I'm just using this equation.
Oh, so you're taking the drug and turning it to pounds is what you're trying to do.
Yes, that's what I'm
yeah, so I said that you times it, not divide it. You times it.
Yeah, so this is I was doing it your way, and then I was going to explain it the other way. So your way,
My way would be you're
you
doing easier math. Your way is actually kind of smarter, actually, if I think about it.
So think about it like this. So you take the 45 kilograms, multiply that by six milligrams. I'm doing it your way first to make it simple. So the dog's 100 pounds. We converted the dog from 100 pounds to now what he is in kilograms, which would be 45 point whatever.
Yeah.
We multiply that by 6 milligrams per kg. It gives us 272, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we do it the other way.
There. Yeah, you just stop there. Now do 100 times 12.
So now this is what I was saying is you take the 6 milligrams, right? Because we're doing
2.2.
So take the 6 milligrams, divide that by 2.
No, times that by 2.2.
I think it's divided by 2.2. I just hear me out. So divided by, actually the exact number is 2.205. 2.205, right? Divide that. That gives you 1 sec. 6 divided by 2.205 is 2.72, right? Whatever. We're going to multiply this by 100 pounds, 272. You still got the same number. So that's what I'm trying to say, that you could convert the dog's weight. It makes sense now, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not crazy.
I never done it that way.
So you can convert the dog. I feel like the way you said to do it is easier, but that was just another way that I had learned a while back that I haven't.
I mean, it makes sense. You're dividing it by 2.2 either.
So that's your thing, 2.2. It's just converting, either you're going to take the dog's weight and convert the dog's weight to kilograms, which is kind of the way the book is saying you should do it. But I had also learned how to, you can take the dosage and convert it that way as well. But I'm just getting at, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Just find what works easier for you. But I think.
No, yeah, that's correct. So the other thing about the book that people don't, those are all your analogy. I mean, all your acronyms. We've went over them. But what people don't understand, the book tells you if it's good for reproduction. Like, can I use this on a female that's nursing? Is it safe to use on pregnant females? It tells you that in the book. It also tells you drug interactions, which means right here, I don't know if this is going to come out clear. Drug interactions. Can this medicine be mixed with anything? Certain medications cannot. There is a reaction to it. There's also, if you look up pyrantel, one of the things I was going to show people is there's another one where it says combination products. And it tells you if you mix this medicine with, for an example, pyrantel right here with ivermectin, that is what we call Heart Guard Plus chewables. It's literally right here in black and white. It tells you how to mix it, what's the dosages, and it tells us how to mix the stuff up. It also tells us if we mix it with praziquantel and ivermectin, you have Iverheart, whatever it's called, max. You know what I mean? Some of the things tell you different things, you guys. So this book tells us more than just dosages. It tells us how to mix things, and it tells us if it's compatible. We'll just say you have a dog that's hypothetically in really, really bad pain. I had a dog here that was super in pain. We had him on Prevocox. We had him on Prevocox mixed with gabapentin because it enhances it. So these are the things that, this book will teach you, but you can't do anything without learning how to dose the actual medicine. And that's what we're trying to teach you guys. It is weight divided by 2.2 times the dose in the book. And then however the dose answer is, just say the number is 500. Now, is your strength on your bottle 100 per milliliter? Is it a pill form where it's 500 milligrams in one pill? Then that means it would only take one pill however often.
Let's use the Baytril. Well, I said Baytril. Let's use enrofloxacin as an example.
No, that's a good example right here. Let me just show them, because Baytril, we all call it Baytril. It is called enrofloxacin. Same thing with pyrantel. Some of you guys call it Strongyte paste, and some of you guys call it Nemex. It's right here. It tells you right here in the book.
Yeah, you should get more in the habit and we kind of enforce this amongst each other. Try to get more in the habit of using the compound name instead of the brand name, in my opinion.
Yes.
It'll get you more familiar. So when you look at something like this, even though it's not a blue and yellow bottle that says Clavamox on it, you're gonna say, "Oh wow, you know what? This is what's the proper terminology?
Oxyclav.
It's potassium clavolite with amoxicillin or something like that. Like you'll get more familiar with using the
Humans, they call it augmentin.
yeah, it's potassium clavolite with amoxicillin. That's the actual like full drug, or pyrantopomate or fendobendazole or acepromazine or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's like you said, you got to learn the actual derivative, I guess is the word.
Yeah. But let's use this as an example, like we were saying.
So if you're looking at it, he has 10%, the middle one is 5%, and we'll just say the last one is 2.27%.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I'm just giving you an example. Those are the 3 forms of injectable enrofloxacin that you can purchase on the market. So obviously the one on the far left, which is the 10%, is going to be the strongest. So for a 40-pound dog, you're going to use very little.
Well, let's use the 100-pound dog as an example. I mean,
I don't want to give any dosages.
Yeah, you're right.
So the enrofloxacin all the way to the left for a 100-pound dog. We'll just say you do have a 100-pound dog, and you want to use 10%. You're going to use a very, very small amount. The side effect to that is you do not burn holes in the muscle, and enrofloxacin will burn holes in the muscle. So if you're using 2% and you have a 100-pound dog, you're going to take a pretty large dose.
So let's just use an example is like this, right? The 10%. On the box, it says 100 milligrams per ml. Now, if we go to the 5%, you're not using the same amount, because if you look at the side, it says 50 milligrams per ml. So this 5%, you would have to give twice the amount to give the same.
So for 100, we'll just say for theory, the one all the way to the left, 100 pounds. This is a theory. This isn't a fact.
Yeah.
He would take 1 ml of that.
Well, let's just say this: 1 ml is 100 milligrams. That's a fact. Yeah. One. It says it on the box. One ml.
Yeah. So the next one would be 2 mLs to equal the same 100.
Exactly, because this here, the 5%, it says 50 milligrams per ml. So for 1 ml, you're getting 100 milligrams. For 1 ml on the 5%, you're getting 50. So you would need to give 2 mLs to equal 100 milligrams, where this is 1 ml.
The last one I want to tell you, it is 20.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 or 25.
It's 20 mgs. I mean 20 milligrams per cc. So you would have to give 5 cc's to equal the very first one at 1 cc. And 5 cc's for a week straight in the same muscle, you're going to burn a hole in it.
In my opinion, the easiest cheat is just to look at what is it per ml. If it shows, it says it. Look at what's the milligrams per ml. I think another thing I want to cover real quick is for like something like an acepromazine, right? So the different ways that it can be administered, because it does say something like that in the book, right? Can we cover that?
Yeah, I mean, acepromazine. Let me look at it. It can be given orally. It can be given sub-Q. It can be given intramuscular. Right here. It can be, IM, IV, sub-Q, and commonly dosages usually are oral. You can give all 3, all 4. All 4 can be given. PO, IM, SQ, IV. Yep, all 4 of them can be given.
So see, this is
there's a little bit of a difference with that one. The difference is each one of them, like right here, if giving injectable, it is given at 1.01 to 0.02. If giving orally, it's 0.02 to 0.03. So you need to give a little bit more if you're going to give it in the mouth.
Okay, got you.
It's, anytime you're putting it directly in the bloodstream, it's going to hit faster and harder. Yep. That's why it says it in here, if you're going to do it in IV, and it in parentheses, it says slowly, because You got to give it slowly. Don't just be done. No, that ain't gonna be good for you or the dog.
And that's something else to be mindful of, is the different forms. And we kind of covered this already, but the different forms that it also comes in, because there's going to be different dosages for the different forms. I think we just had this
Paste
conversation.
comes in pills.
Yeah,
Pills,
like,
they come in 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams, and injectable.
yeah, enrofloxacin, another example. There's tablets. This is the tablets, and then this is injectable. The dosages are completely different to mine. From what I remember in the book, I think it said the dosages are different for tablet versus injectable.
They might be, but
Yeah.
the same way you reach your end goal is the same. It's your
Yeah,
weight times your dose divided by your strength of whatever. Because when you do your weight times your dose, that's how much the dog needs to consume. We'll
yeah,
just say if the dog weighs 100 pounds, like again, or I wish there was an easy 50 kilos. The dog weighs 50 kilos. I don't know what that shit is in America in pounds, but 50 kilos times 2 mgs per kg. That means he needs to consume 100 mls. Now, depending on how strong your pills are, we'll just say it's doxycycline, he only needs one pill because it's 100 mg. The pills are 100, mgs.
yeah.
Only one pill. That's it. It's that easy. But if we'll just say the dog weighs less than 100 mgs, and he needs to consume 2.2 mgs per kg. So the numbers are going to get a little funky. You know what I mean? And you just got to figure out what the dosage is, and you not have to know how strong your pill, how strong your antibiotic is, or whatever you're given.
And another cheat, I think, like I said, is you could also, like, what I used to do is I have a human scale. I'd step on the scale, convert it to kilograms. I'd weigh myself, then I'd hold the dog, pick the dog up. I mean, your dog's is a different story.
No, I've done that before.
But yeah, you pick up the dog, hold the dog, so you know what you weigh without the dog. Then you jump on the scale with the dog, and then you subtract, how much weight went up. So if you were, I'm just gonna throw random numbers out there. If you were
200 pounds and you weigh 250 with the dog, now your dog weighs 50 pounds.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's one way you could easily quickly do it at home.
And some people think you can just divide by 2. I mean, I guess you could. Just divide by 2. I mean, if you're dealing with a safer augmentin, yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're not going to be problems. There's not going to be a huge problem.
I try not to do that anymore, because it's just like, what's the word? Like, I like to always refer back to, like, subconscious. Like, if I always do it the right way, then
muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory. Like, so that's why, like, you could, like you said, with a safer thing, like Pyrantel maybe, or like, Clavamox, maybe you could get away with that.
Yeah.
But personally, I just feel like just do it right every single time, and then it'll just be embedded in your memory. The 2.2, because that's a lot more closer than like you see, when you start doing, like, breaking it down to its smallest points, 2.2 whatever. I think it was like 205 that we went over or something like that.
Yeah.
But
in most medicine, you got a pretty good variance, but like some drugs, some medicines you don't, like Ludolase and ACE, xylazine. Those are medicines that you don't have that kind of wiggle room on. So I wouldn't, when you're dealing with your Clavamoxes and stuff like that, yeah, you got wiggle room.
Like, yeah, 100%, 100%.
I hope it's weight times dosage divided by your strength of your medicine.
And don't take our word for it. Check it out in the Plumb's book. I think even the Plumb has some, like, equations and things like that in there. Another gem
you can look it up. Hold on, let me see.
Another gem that I'll just throw out there is, like, personally, I have the Plumb's book on my phone. They have an app. Let me see if I can pull this up and show you guys real quick. Like,
Accepted Veterinarian Medical Shorthand and Acronyms.
Oh, there you go. That's in the book.
No, it's on my phone. I just looked it up. There's a whole bunch of them.
Can you send that to me?
You can look them all up.
But check this out, guys. So, like, I got the Plumb's book on my phone, for example, right? Now, I don't like that. Doesn't replace getting the actual book, in my opinion. In my opinion, the actual book itself is, like, it's just so much easier to navigate through and to use and stuff like that. But I'm just so used to, like, having to look on the fly for things. It's convenient to have the app. I would always recommend people to have the book first, and then if you want to get the app, go ahead and get the app, because the app is, it's not like the book where you can just go through page by page and stuff like that. But
So
anyway, on the app,
Q
uh-huh.
Q means every. That's what Q means.
Oh,
So
okay.
it says Q24, that means every 24 hours.
See,
If it says PO by mouth and it says PER space OS, I don't know how to say that. It's in a different language. I'm guessing Latin.
yeah.
And what's another one? BID twice per day means BIS space IN space DIE. That's probably in Latin too, but bis in die, you know what I mean?
Well, perfect examples. Like I'm looking right now on the app, right? And there's a calculator tool on it. There's a notes tool on it. Like there's a drug interaction. So you could theoretically, like off of the app itself, you can play around with it and look at like I said, using the tools on there to calculate, what the dosages would be and so on and so forth. But I personally don't do that. It's just features that it apparently looks like it has on the app. I usually just use the app to like if I have to quickly, check something real fast. But it's convenient to have. And then I think you said there's another one, right? You have the Merrick one or something.
Yeah, the
So
American app. There's another one too.
yep,
They
and
both do the same thing. They'll tell you
yeah,
dosages. You can look them up yourself. I think I
yeah,
want to tell you they're like $4 or $5 a month.
something like that. Yeah, I think my app. I think I pay like 100 for the year or 200 for the year, something like that. So I think it comes out to like $12 a month.
I remember. I have the books.
Yeah, but anyway, guys. As always, we hope this information was helpful. We hope it was useful. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Dog Breeding Chronicles. All right, guys.
Amen.